Talk a little bit more about that last thought with Jim Brulte. He is chairman of the California Republican Party. This is generally thought to be a year in which Republicans are going to have trouble. But the way the system is set up in California, with so many Democrats on the ballot, you might wind up with races where the top two vote getters are Republicans, right?
Yes, we don't normally have that in competitive congressional seats, although we've had that in state Senate and state Assembly seats where we've had two Republicans run off or two Democrats run off. I think conventional wisdom about 5 weeks ago was because there were so many Democrat candidates for Congress in our targeted seats, and they were so well funded that we may end up with two Republicans in 2 or 3 of the districts. But the Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee, by my count, has spent $6 to $8 million trying to impact Republican candidates. And I will be pleasantly surprised if we have 2 Republicans in any of our top congressional targets.
All right. Democrats think that they can flip the House this year, that they can win the 23 seats that they need to take back the majority. How many of those seats do you suspect could come from California? Because there are at least 10 races that the Democrats think they can win there.
Yeah, I don't think any of those seats are going to come from California. We have 14 Republican congressional seats in California. By the way, most states in America do not have 14 congressional seats total. Out of our 14 congressional seats, 7 of them were carried by Hillary Clinton in 2016. The Democrats are targeting about 10 seats. But those Democrat candidates have been racing to the left. In a number of cases, they're actually to the left of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. So if we get a Republican-Democrat runoff in all of those 10 seats, most of the Republican candidates are mainstream. Most of the Democrat candidates are far to the left of where average California voters are. So I don't think, irrespective of the Democrats' desire, I don't think they're going to pick up seats here in California in November.
What about the tax bill that was passed by the Republican-controlled Congress, signed into law by President Trump? Is that a problem for Republicans or an asset as they run in California?
Well, in most of the districts, it's an asset. Most Californians file their income taxes and pay the standard deduction. So when you raise the standard deduction, most Californians benefit. There are a couple of districts that are fairly affluent along the coast where some of the wealthier voters do not benefit, but the vast majority of voters in California benefit. So the Democrat talking points that this is a big negative for California isn't. It may be a negative for California government, but it's not a negative for rank-and-file California voters.
What about immigration? I mean, California has declared itself a sanctuary state. There's a Republican in the White House who wants to build a wall between the U.S. and Mexico. Does that issue help or hurt Republicans running for Congress?
By and large, it helps most of them. This is another example. You know, one size doesn't fit all. The Democrats have made California a sanctuary state. That's one of the reasons the violent crime rate is rising as fast as it is, although another reason is they've let 40,000 felons out of state prison. There are 10 or 12 counties that have already voted to sue the federal government, and there are over 42 cities that have voted to sue the California government because they don't agree with it. In most congressional districts, sanctuary state is a positive for Democrats. Those are up in the Bay Area, but in most of the competitive seats, sanctuary state policies are a negative because voters just don't like it.
We are going to be watching these races very closely. Jim Brulte is the head of the California GOP. Thanks, sir, for spending some time today.